I want to start right at the beginning though, Remy, and get the sort of Remy origin story. Um, Tell us about what were you like as a child and what did a sort of successful future look like to you?
Yeah, my poor mother. I was not the best child. I was actually a single child for 7 years until my little brother came into the world, and I was not happy about that. Massive attention seeker. There's actually a video of my brother taking his first ever steps, and I pushed him out of the way and say, "Mum, watch my dance routine." So that from my childhood. But yeah, I was very polite and a great childhood I had. And yeah, it was sort of like I say this a lot, and I'm like, oh, it's such a cringe thing to say out loud, but I really did feel like I was going to do something that had a lot of purpose, that was going to like change the world, and I didn't know what that was going to be. I originally thought it was going to be the flying doctor's service. Like, yeah, that was like what I wanted to do. I don't think I was going to be able to get into medicine, but that was my dream as a child. And yeah, that was pretty much the origin story of where I came from.
Amazing. And so you kind of started your career in sales and marketing before, as Belle said, this kind of pivot into studying midwifery. Like, talk us through that journey and what was sort of the thread throughout that?
Yeah, it was the other way around. So I left school. I remember in grade 12, you have to pick what you want to do for a career for the rest of your life, which is a bit strange in my mind now looking back. I think you should probably be given a bit more time. And I chose midwifery because I was really interested in the healthcare space, but also, yeah, the concept of motherhood and babies and stuff. Just really, it was the most beautiful thing in the world to me. So I started studying midwifery. I did that for 2.5 years. And when I was a midwife, that was like where I first learned about what period poverty was. So I was watching, I have to admit my privilege. I had never experienced period poverty myself, but I was working closely alongside refugees and young mothers who were, having to make this really impossible choice between period products in the store or baby formula. So yeah, terrible. That lit a fire in me to create change. I just didn't know how I was going to do it at the time. I did end up leaving midwifery and going to work in marketing. Yeah, so that was my big pivot. It was purely, I think, just from I don't think I was built to work inside a hospital with no windows. And yeah, just having two people's lives in your hand at all times. Like I just am a very empathetic person. It was just, yeah, not really, I wasn't built for that. But yeah, made the really hard choice, which was hard because I was that close to graduating. So yeah, that was a big shift for me. Went back, started uni again, and did business, majoring in marketing, and then ended up working in events for Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, and then started my own business, like forging go-to-market strategies for startups. That's how I got into the space that I'm in now. I basically put the two really random experiences together to make what I have made now. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, in retrospect, it all makes sense. But to dive back into some of those decisions a little bit more, because it's so interesting, like why marketing? What was interesting to you about that side of things?
Um, I had always seen my dad. My dad has owned a business his whole life, and I actually originally thought I was just more focused on the business side of things. And then I ended up loving marketing while I was in uni and learning about it. Like I think marketing is the most applicable degree to anything you do. At the end of the day, if you can talk about what you're doing, like tell the world, then you have a much better chance at selling the thing that you have. So I think marketing is the be all and end all of business, really. If you're a good marketer, you're a good business person. Mm.
Yeah, I love that. Makes total sense. And also on that, like tell us more about you had your first taste of running your own business with Poster Boy, which
Mhm.
involved viral street interviews that kind of help
Mhm.
people get their brands noticed. What was
Mm.
that like and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, it was really cool actually. Well, I saw the first ever taste of like watching some like a brand blow up, which was really cool. And so I started working with Get Ahead. They were my first client. And if you know their street interviews, it's like, what do you do for work and how much do you make? And then the other person answers. And yeah, that was like our strategy that we put in place. And then we went and we at one time we were posting 7 of those videos a day. Like the output was just so hectic. And we were editing and filming all of them. So it was
Wow.
pretty wild. Yeah, yeah. But it was really good. And then yeah, it happened almost overnight. Like they just, one video went viral, the Daily Mail picked it up, and then it was just like that on it. And it was just consistently. They were getting, I think over the course of when I was working there, we had like over 35 million social views, which was really cool. So yeah, that
That
was,
is wild.
and it just drove heaps of app downloads for their app, and like it was a really cool thing. So I was like, all right, this strategy works. So I rinsed and repeated that for a few brands until I started On the House. Really, yeah.
Yeah. And just before we get into On the House, because I know Belle's and I have heaps of questions on that, but like what did that experience teach you about that kind of like virality and storytelling and marketing? Like what was sort of like why was that so effective?
um, my perception of why it was so effective is because it's a glass door into people's lives. So like we often hear these stories right, about doing founder-led sale, founder-led sales, founder-led marketing, building in public. It's the same thing with viral street interviews. It's because you're learning things about someone that they wouldn't usually tell you, right? It's the same concept. Someone's telling you how much money they're making. You're like, oh, I'm going to watch this because I never hear people talk about this sort of stuff. So it's the same kind of concept. Just, that's what I learned is like that made me want to build in public, and that made me want to tell my story and get on socials, even though it was like really embarrassing. But yeah.
No, I love it. And then let's chat about On the House. Like maybe talk us through when did you first have the idea for the concept of On the House?
Yeah, it was kind of like an epiphany moment, to be honest. I was driving home from the Gold Coast where my partner was living at the time, and I drove past the hospital that that I was doing my midwifery practice at. And I remembered the stories of these women that were telling me, like I was thinking back to it. And then I had the thought, I was thinking about Facebook and Instagram, like the sort of model of how they're free because they have ads on them. And I was like, oh, we can do that with a physical product. Like obviously no one's done, well, a few people have done it, but it's going to be hard because it's a physical product. It's an expensive one on the shelf. Like, how are we going to work it out? But I was just in the car and I was like, oh my God, like that is my purpose. Genuinely. That sounds so embarrassing. But like just had this full blown epiphany moment and then just started writing the business plan, and yeah, it all went from there. Mm.
Wow, what a jump into it. Do you want to maybe dive into On the House a little bit more? What's the mission? What's it all about?
Yeah, so On the House, world's first free period products paid for by ads, not women. So our mission, we have 2 missions, but our main social mission is, this massive issue in Australia that 3 in 5 women are resorting to using makeshift solutions for period products. So those could be things like tissues, toilet paper, socks. And yeah, recent research shows that like 73% of women have missed key life events. So like job interviews, social interactions, school, work, whatever it may be. I think we're losing on average at the moment like $215 million in productivity in Australia's economy from lost work due to lack of access to period products. So our entire mission is set out to solve that problem. We want to get that number down to 0 in 5 by 2035. Mm.
Wow. I'm actually super fascinated by those statistics as well. Like, what does it look like researching that for you as well?
Yeah, we worked with a company called Ideally. They help do a lot of market research and health research and stuff. So it was quite interesting. Like they went out and did a massive survey and got all these answers back. Yeah, it was really eye-opening because there is a bit of research done into period poverty at the moment, but it needs to be constantly updated because it's the cost of living is getting worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I remember seeing was it this is not a pad?
Yeah,
The campaign.
yeah.
Is that with Afterpay?
It was, yeah, yeah, which was our first client. So we did a big campaign, yeah, where we put socks in boxes, in like period product boxes, and said like, this is not a pad. And then, but it is for 3 in 5 people who don't have any other option. So.
Such an awesome activation. Maybe we'll go back to, driving past the hospital and thinking I can actually do this.
Mm.
What was the moment you decided to go all in on the house? Like what gave you the conviction at that stage to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do?
Um, so I really sat on the idea for like I think it was like maybe a year or two. I can't remember how long it was, but I sat on it and didn't like I was just writing the business plan in the background, like not doing anything. I was just really putting it off. I don't know why. Scared. I don't know what it was. I didn't think I was ready. And yeah, and then there was literally just a turning point where I was just like, oh, why wouldn't I? And so I just quit all my other work that I was doing and just I don't even know what gave me the the conviction to do it. I just did.
Like, I'm ready now.
I'm ready now. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit more about, I guess, building on the house at the moment. I can imagine there's a couple of founders on the call today, and you yourself are a solo founder. We were chatting before about your wonderful other team member that you've now just got on. But yeah, what does it mean for you building as a solo founder, and what does that look like for you at this stage?
Yeah, it's a lot of balls juggled. um it's good though. I think like yeah, you're obviously our company is unique in the fact that we are multiple different types of businesses mixed into one. So we're an advertising company, we're a period product company, and we're a facilities management company. So we go out to all of the vending machines and restock them and service them. So there's like the hardware aspect, there's the product aspect, and then there's selling out of home advertising. So there's a bit going on. But it's lots of fun. Like I am addicted to the roller coaster now of what it's like. Just every day is totally different, and I adore that. That I never know what's going to happen that day. Um, uh, it is I think as a founder, it's good to juggle all those balls in the start though. I think it's really important for your personal growth because it makes you work harder than you've ever worked in your life, which makes you grow up as a human or makes you get better. And B, you need to know your business like the back of your hand. In order for it to succeed and be able to make those changes really quick. So if you're having to I think it's better to have full control rather than only half, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe for those on the call who aren't like 100% across what On the House does, do you want to maybe jump into like what does that look like? How can people access the products a little bit more as well?
Yeah. So we install vending machines that have digital inbuilt screens on the front in public and commercial bathrooms. So think places like universities, entertainment venues, stadium, shopping centres, all those sorts of things. And they're installed on the wall. The way a woman would access a product is they would just go up, scan the QR code on the machine, and then put in their details. It connects you to your account, and then your product, you press dispense and your product dispenses. It's very simple. It only takes about a minute and a half. And the way that they're funded is through digital advertising that's playing like a billboard inside a bathroom, pretty much.
I think I've seen some incredible TikToks actually from you, little plugs, some incredible TikToks that have the dispenser on them, right? So they're the ones that you go and refill.
Yes, yeah. I'm currently restocking all of the.
How long does that take? Like, what does that process look
It's a
like?
good day a week, but I try and go outside of hours so that I'm like not, if I've got meetings and things. But if I go and do all 5 in one go, so we're in our pilot program at the moment, just so you guys understand. So we've got 5 machines out. The idea of that was to iron out any kinks before we go and scale. So we want to make sure that all the software works perfectly and it all makes sense and people actually use them and all that sort of stuff. So we're in that now. Spoiler alert, it's working really well. So that's good. But yeah, and then we're going to scale out to a couple hundred machines post this.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. I've loved at the moment, I don't know if anyone else has been seeing Remy's incredible updates on LinkedIn. We were chatting about them before and this awesome like founder behind the scenes. And I think that's something you do so well is like building the brand and the community around like really engaging and loving On the House. Yeah, not to mention that insane social following on TikTok. But before even launching, like why is that important to you? And I guess how do you combine those two loves of that marketing and bringing that to On the House?
You mean like being on socials prior to launch?
Yeah. How do you see that as building On the House?
Yeah. It was I had, I'd just been watching the trend happening at the time where there were lots of founders starting to post on social media and like building in public. And I think it makes you work harder because people are watching. Like, so I started a series, Founder Diaries Friday updates. And you know what's so funny? Now that I'm in Startmate, I'm like, this is hilarious because we do a progress update every Friday morning. I was like, I was doing that to myself accidentally. But it's good. You have like full accountability, like, and people are watching, and you also, people buy from people, not businesses, right? Like it's so important for people to connect with the person behind the brand, especially when it's something like this that's, you know, helping people and hopefully changing a future for women. I think it's so important that the people feel connected to the person that's doing that. And yeah, it was just a no-brainer for me, honestly. And it was so embarrassing when my first video I posted was like 200 views. I was refreshing it like a psycho. Hoping it was going to get more. It didn't. And then my second video, the one I put up, was what like blew up. I got my first like 10,000 followers that second video I posted. So yeah, highly recommend. Like, it will never, if you don't try, it'll never work. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And I guess from a period poverty perspective, it's obviously such an underserved topic now. How do you think founders, I guess, tackling traditionally quite taboo topics or topics that wouldn't be seen, you know, on your LinkedIn feed or on your TikTok feed, do you think as a founder you have quite a different toolkit in building your brand online than maybe safer industries that might also be
True. I think it naturally, being a taboo topic, actually gets more eyeballs because you don't see it as often. But how do I handle talking about a taboo topic? I don't. I have never believed it to be taboo. And that's because I wasn't, you know, a student midwife. I've seen everything. I don't even realize that that could be gross to someone else. You know what I mean? Like, so I've never seen it like that. And so I haven't ever had to think about what am I saying? You know, am I saying it here? Is this allowed to be said? I haven't thought about that. And I think that is actually really important to changing the voice of women and being able to talk about these things, is having someone that isn't afraid to say things. So yeah, that's probably my opinion on that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's, yeah, obviously about normalizing that. It is such an incredibly important topic that isn't talked about as much. So I think normalizing it as much as possible is obviously such a huge role that you're playing in that, which I think is incredible. Do you want to maybe, I don't know if you want to give us an example here. Is there a conversation you've had with a customer or maybe a user of On the House so far that's really stuck with you and reminded you why this is so important?
Definitely. I had a conversation with a girl who, she didn't have enough money that week. And this is not always the case. It's not necessarily always about people not being able to afford things. We are trying to just solve a lack of access. Like, they should be as readily available as toilet paper. But in this case, this woman was struggling to afford period products, and she had to pay for her partner's dinner that night because he had lost his job. And so she sat on her couch with a towel the entire week. She was on her period because she couldn't leave the house. And that was just like, I was like, that is why I'm doing this. You know, you forget. I think when my mind is always in the business all the time, and it's always thinking about the dollars and the spreadsheets. No, it's like, this is a human thing. And yeah, we're doing this with heart. So yeah.
So
I love that. And I was going to say, what about from the other side of it? Like, why are brands getting so excited about On the House? Like, why is On the House so great as a marketing channel?
Yeah, well, look, I knew it was going to work, but seeing the data was very cool that it actually is working. So that's great. I'm not naive to the fact that there's Emma. She's in the back sending love hearts. I'm not naive to the fact that it has to have commercial value, or the business just won't sustain, right? Advertisers need to see value in it and want to continue putting advertising on the machines themselves. So we have proved some awesome results for particularly Afterpay, who was our first advertiser, and we did a case study of their first couple of months of advertising. So they saw an 83% lift in brand affinity. So 83% of people that took a product from the machine and had seen Afterpay's ad felt more positively about the Afterpay brand after seeing them work with On the House, which is just insane. And we had 61% unaided recall 4 weeks later. So that's like someone saw the ad 4 weeks ago and remembered what ad was on that machine that they saw a month later. So that's great. And 100% follow-up intent. So 15% even of that 100% who said they were going to do something post-interaction with the Afterpay brand said that they would try Afterpay for the first time after seeing them work with On the House. So yeah, some really strong commercial results. And that's, I think in this day and age, we know the problem. We're in a massive attention recession. CPMs are up, recall rates are down. Brands are struggling to reach Gen Z consumers. And then at the same time, those exact same women are struggling to access period products. So we're just solving both with one solution for two very different problems. Yeah.
It makes total sense because when I think about like seeing an ad on Instagram, which is just like so irritating to see any ad on Instagram compared to feeling like a brand is buying me tampons.
Yeah.
And it's such a different equation.
Right. Yeah.
I know what I'd prefer. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna I'm gonna coin a new metric. I'm gonna try and invent, and it's gonna be annoyance rate. So I'm gonna try and see if I can measure how annoyed people get. Like let's think about a YouTube ad, and it's like unskippable, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then there's
True.
Instagram ad, and you're like, oh, go away. But then there's our ad. I think it like we had 100% of people said that the ad was less annoying than any other ad. So that was awesome.
It's a great metric to track.
Yeah, I know.
Finally, the ads that give back. It's so good.
Right? Yeah, giving economy
Yeah.
the future for sure.
I made the mistake of Googling like new bed sheets last night, and then I cannot tell you, I cannot go on anything without 50 different advertisements for every kind of linen company. I'm like, what have I done? Leave me alone.
It actually can make you
Not
change
ready
your
for this.
mind on buying bed sheets.
It literally does. I'm like, everyone get out of my way. Okay, I might ask one or two more questions and then we'll jump over to the Slido. I can see heaps of people
Great.
have been popping questions on. So just a reminder for everyone listening, jump on anything that you want to double click on that we've spoken about, add it there. And also feel free to start, the upvoting's begun already as well. Feel free to start upvoting the ones that you're most excited to hear about. But Remy, we'd love to hear a little bit more about like you're balancing a lot right now. As you said, it's like a marketing business, it's a servicing vending machine business, it's a creating tampon business. Like, what are your sanitary products? Like, what are your keys to making it work? And how do you balance your massive ambitions for On the House with the rest of your life?
I don't really have the rest of my life at the moment. It's very much I think it's seasons, right? Like I know that one day it won't be like that. And for now it is, this is the biggest priority. Balancing it though, I feel like just I have one condition, and it's I have to have a horizontal day once a week. That's my rule to myself. I have to lay flat somewhere one day a week. Yeah, it's just time management, honestly, and like just being as quick as you can all the time, so that you can just get as much possible done, really.
Wow. What
Yeah.
do you do on your horizontal day?
Just watch TV, Netflix.
Yeah.
And I
Is that
start to get guilty about 2 hours in and pick up my laptop and put it on my lap and start typing. But
still working just
Yeah.
horizontally?
I love that you call it a horizontal day. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else use that term.
Yes. You guys can all use that. You're welcome.
Another term you're coining.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true. And do you have any advice, or like what advice would you give to founders, aspiring founders who are trying to start a business in a new space?
Yeah, I would say like my motto over the last couple of weeks, or since starting Startmate, I've kind of realized is like just don't be afraid to ask for things and have like sickening audacity. I think especially as female founders, we have a tendency to not want to bother people. And I think that's very natural. Maybe it's not just women, I'm not sure, but from my experience anyway. And I think don't think like that. Like just run your own race. Like, just go for it. There's no other way, and you're in your own way if you don't do that.
Well, okay. Well, speaking of sickening audacity, then, I mean, I was going to ask this at the end, but like while we've got everyone on the call, um, is there any way that everyone on this call or anyone on this call can help you and what you're doing with On the House?
Yes, that would be great. If anyone knows any brand leads, head of brand, marketing managers, CMOs, anyone in like a consumer business, more advertisers equals more free period products equals better world. So that is that is my MO. So if anyone knows anyone could introduce me, or knows of someone you think I should talk to, just hit me up on LinkedIn or email or whatever. Yeah.
I love it. That's the equation. Better
Yeah.
world. We all want that.
Yeah.
All right, Bells, do you want to jump into asking some of the slider questions?
Yeah, there's a couple more that have come through. Some really great questions in here. Let's kick us off a bit more about the brand building side, Remy. You're amazing on camera. Is there any advice for someone who feels awkward filming themselves and how to start?
Yeah, it is really awkward when you first start. It's just practice. Like, you just have to look. I always like, I write my script first of what I want to say. So go in like super prepared for what you actually, because you don't want to ramble on. The video is not going to be good if you're not being short and sharp and, cutting it nice. So write your script, get your laptop, put it beside you, set it up in nice natural lighting, nice and bright, and do one line at a time. Remember it, look at your screen, say it, remember it, look at your screen, and then chop that up. And then that is your first video. Just remember, no one else finds anything, like no one else is thinking about it except you. You know what I mean? You're the only one that's like, oh, people are going to judge me for that. They're not. Like, they're really not. They're going to be proud of you for going after what your dreams.
So true. Love it. And how did you get your first brand partner to say yes?
Yeah. It was from a cold LinkedIn message. You wouldn't believe. Yeah. So we just cold LinkedIn messaged the global brand manager of Afterpay, which was very cool. And she replied, and then we set up a meeting, and I, again, sickening audacity, pitched my dream partnership. So they signed a 12-month contract with us, which was just great. But I don't have any special tips. Like, it was, I don't know. I don't know how I did it. Just a cold DM. Yeah.
Awesome. And what keeps you going when things get hard or messy behind the scenes? Horizontal.
Yeah, quite horizontal today. What keeps me going? That's an interesting question. I think just a better future. Like, I think, I can see the bigger picture of what this world will look like if we have proper gender equity. And yeah, that's like my responsibility. I see that as my responsibility now, starting this. And I think that pushes me through. Like, this isn't just about me. Like, Remy, if you're feeling crap, shut up. You've got bigger fish to fry, But yeah, I think I'm quite, like, things are hard, but I'm very quickly, am able to just move past that and get forward. Is it Simon Beard? There's a really interesting talk by Simon Beard about emotional, do you guys know what it is? Emotional balance. Basically, it's like bringing yourself back down to your emotional baseline, and like tactics of how to get there. Really important, because the way he talks about it in executive dysfunction, or being a leader, is that if you're in a heightened state of any kind, so be it positive or negative, you're unable to make like logical decisions with the data that you have in your brain. So being able to bring yourself back down to that center point, like emotionally, is the most important skill you will get as a founder or a leader. So highly recommend watching that. There's also I think it was a neuroscientist that did the original piece on it. If I can find it after this, I'll send it through to everyone so you guys can have a watch, because it's very helpful.
I would love that. Is there any other practical ways? I know you said you've got your Friday kind of write-ups, summaries that you also do in the accelerator, but are there any other, I guess, practical things to keep you on track that you do every week?
I do a strategy block, and so every Monday I have a 2-hour strategy block where I have a set set questions where I go through and say, like, if I could do, one thing tomorrow that will change the business around, what if I was my competitor, what would I view as like, my blind spot, and how could I fix that? What could I do tomorrow to make that not be existent anymore? So it's like a set of questions every Monday that I force myself to sit there and do that strategy session. And I think it's really good. It's like journaling for business. Like sometimes I think you get so in the motions of going through and you don't look inwards and go, okay, what's going on here? So I can send you guys those questions as well if you like. I'll put them in.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could send out a little like we
Yeah.
can send them out post this so everyone can get all your recs and your tips. There's so many good tips here.
Yeah, so many good tips. Are there any ethical and or cultural considerations you consider when partnering brands, or any brands or sectors that you wouldn't partner with on the house?
Yeah. So we have very strict ethical advertising guidelines that we wanted to put in place. It's no alcohol, no gambling, all those good things. You can't, like, that's not, it's, the bathroom is a sacred space in my mind as well. Like, you need to be communicating the right messages for those people in those times, especially now. It's we're in front of the everyday consumer, but especially as we expand and we become, more public facing in public places, there's also going to be, a large portion of the people we serve will be a vulnerable community as well. So yeah, we have to be very careful with the messages we put on there. But ethicality is super important, I think, to what we're doing, and it would ruin like our brand as well if we partnered with someone that, a business that wasn't ethical. So yeah.
Yeah, they're being so mission driven.
Mm.
Oh, we've just had a question be bumped up.
Mhm.
I don't know how you want to answer this one, but what was the capital required to start on the house? How did that happen?
Oh, I actually couldn't tell you. I've never counted it, but because it came all out of my own pocket and I just kept putting money into it. We did have a 25K investment from an angel investor at the start to help us give our deposits for the machines being built and the Pureo products. And then, we've bootstrapped it ever since then. So it's been great.
Nice.
How did that come about, Remy?
Sorry,
How did that come about?
TikTok. You wouldn't believe finding angel investors through TikTok. That was not on my bingo card. She's a legend though. Her name's Lux Perry. She is a big advocate for menstrual equity over in Canada, and she owns 3 reusable period companies in New Zealand, North America, Canada, and the US, I think maybe. But yeah, she's awesome. Very cool lady. So she flew to Sydney to meet me, and we had a coffee, and she was like, I'd love to invest. So that's what we did. Yeah.
That's amazing. And has that been helpful having investors who are also obviously like extremely aligned in the space and have expertise in the space?
Definitely. I think that's a big thing for me is strategic investments, strategic partnerships. I think that this being an incredibly unique business, I need the best of the best minds in the different areas. And I think, someone in menstrual equity, someone in out of home advertising, someone in facilities management, whoever it might be, operations. I think having like amazing brains is very valuable. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. How do you plan your content and ideas? Any tips to get high engagement and views?
Mm-mm. Shit, I could give you like the longest list of this, which I'll send it to the girls after I've got like a best practices hook design. Basically, they have to be quick. The first 3 seconds has to capture someone. So like if you rewatch your video and you think, would that, like, genuinely ask yourself, would that make me want to keep watching that video? Because I think we lie to ourselves sometimes, like, oh, that's good enough, but actually, like, it needs to be good. The video has to be good. Planning content is, I kind of ebb and flow through planning content. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just do it on a whim. But I would recommend, for clarity for you, like doing a content calendar and then setting aside one day a week to film all of that content so you can just batch it. because otherwise it's a lot of time to just be every day doing videos. Like I was editing a video yesterday, it took me an hour and a half to edit. I was like, that is not sustainable. You can't be doing that.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Okay, love it. Yeah, we'll add that to the email. Any hot tips for planning content? Okay, next question is, what has Startmate been like?
Oh, I love Startmate. I'm such a fangirl. Yeah, it's been so good. Seriously, guys, I feel terrible saying this, but I didn't know what Startmate was before I applied for it. I was interviewing and had no idea, which is crazy. Now that I know what you guys are, I'm like, was I living under a rock? That's actually crazy. And yeah, my week 0, I was like, this is sick. Like, what great accountability, the whole concept of demo day and how much knowledge and help you guys provide is just insane. So highly recommend Startmate if you want to apply for the summer 26 round. Applications are open.
Very good.
It's like they're paying me to say this. No, I'm
Okay, we'll try and smash through. We've got 4 questions, 3 minutes.
Cool.
From the research, are there particular areas in Australia that have high rates of period poverty?
I actually haven't done that part of research yet, so I wouldn't want to answer that and give you the wrong information. Yeah.
Very fair. What are the top 3 things that keep you up at night?
Oh, that's a good question. I can come back to that. Let me think while you're asking the next question.
Okay, sounds good. How do you have conversations about periods with those who are uncomfortable with talking about them? Have you found this to be a challenge at all?
I've only ever experienced this with like an older man in a business meeting. I just don't care. I just talk about it anyway. They get over it.
Normalizing.
Yeah, I just like that's your problem, not mine.
Okay, we have a very practical question. Actually, great question. For the vending machine, can each woman take only 1 pad each? Do you want to talk through how that actually
Oh.
works, that workflow? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a box of 3 pads at a time, and you can take up to 4 boxes a month, so 12 pads. Yeah. So we originally had boxes of 12, but then I realized that the box is really bulky and you can't fit it in your handbag if you have a little one when you're out. So we've done boxes of 3, but let me know, guys, if you want me to change that up. Yeah, so the flow is literally just, scanning the QR code, getting out, you press dispense, the box falls down into the little holder, and then you take it out and walk away. Happy days.
Magic. It's literally so cool. This isn't one of the questions, but I'm wondering, like, where next? Where's your goal to start, like, spreading the next set of vending machines?
Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne are the next 3 rollouts. And then, from there, wider and bigger. Yeah.
Overseas?
Yes, one day. We've watch this space.
Watch this space. Absolutely. We will be watching. We will be following along and absolutely being your biggest fans from the side. Remy, thank you so much for joining us the last 45 minutes, sharing all your insights, wisdom, lessons, lots of resources that everyone's going to now be able to look through. We really appreciate it, guys. Everyone jump in the chat, express your thanks to Remy for taking your time in your very busy founder life. And yeah, everyone, if you can intro brands, there we go. There's a few offers coming through. Shoot us an email and we can introduce you to Remy.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you all coming along and to listen. If you guys want to chat at all one-on-one, feel free to reach out via LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to, chat to you if you've got any questions.
So nice. Thanks so much, Remy. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.